right. Hey, hello, hi, I am Kate. I am doing an energy exchange today, and we did step one. So if you have come here from my last video, hi, welcome. You know that the energy we would most benefit from clearing out today was unforgiveness. And the energy we needed to call in its place was, surprise, surprise, forgiveness. So unforgiveness, we're letting you go, and forgiveness, we're calling you in. We did that by first becoming embodied, first taking ownership and responsibility for this form and all the energy that it holds, and saying, yeah, okay, I'm ready to release the unforgiveness. I'm ready to find it, to call it in, and then to release it. And I'm also ready to call back in its place forgiveness. And having that intention, I find, is really important. I have not done a clearing video in a few days because my energy has been off. But each day I still did a clearing, because for me, having this practice of sitting down and intentionally changing out my energy is so beneficial. And I do think it's part of why I woke up today feeling much better. So here we are. Now what do? Well, we take that pendulum again and we go back to our charts and we say, what is the root? What is the story about this unforgiveness that we could learn from the subconscious, from spirit, from source, that will help us even more to release it, even more than the embodiment, even more than the intention. Help us on this subconscious level, help us on a spiritual level to seek it out, find it, and then release it once and for all. So that's what we're going to do right now together. We do that by going to my very first chart. This is like an index. This is like your list of chapters, right? And my pendulum tells us, well, which chapter do we have to go to first? Which chart do we have to go to first that is going to answer this first layer of the question of what is going on here? What is the root of this unforgiveness? And is there anything we can do to just help clear it out and get rid of it even more than we already have? So the first chart that came up is all about blocks. Something blocking us, some external thing blocking us, maybe a mind pattern blocking us, maybe just an energy blocking us. We don't know, but that's what the charts are for. We're going to find out. So what is the block? You can show us right away. Our beliefs. You know, it's interesting because for me, so part of this for me is about what the charts say. Part of it is trusting spirit, that what comes up and what I say is being taken care of behind the scenes, like a prayer, very much like a prayer. This is a prayer for me. And then the other part of this is what I call channeling. It's just information that comes to me in a way that I cannot understand or fully explain, but all of a sudden there's just information. There's just knowledge. It's like you read a book, but you didn't read the book, but you have all the knowledge from the book, and you don't know how you have the knowledge, but you just have the knowledge. So sometimes that's part of what happens here. So the first thing I'm going to say is spirit clear it. Spirit clear any belief we have that is keeping us tied to this unforgiveness, this energy of unforgiveness. So if there is a belief that, like, oh, this person hurt me and I can't forgive them, or else it means something about me. That's the first thing that popped into my head. Like, but if I forgive you, that means I'm foolish. If I forgive you, that means I'm at risk of getting hurt again. If I forgive you, it means I'm stupid, dumb, an idiot, you know, whatever, fill in the blanks for you. And so that belief is holding you tied, bound to that unforgiveness. So if we get rid of that belief, whatever it is, then you can let yourself go from that energy of unforgiveness. And you can ask yourself right now, you know, if you did the energy exchange video or if you didn't, you can take a moment right now to say, what does unforgiveness do for me? What does it actually do for me? My lack of willingness to forgive, how is it providing benefit in my life? How is it helping me grow? How is it helping me learn? How is it helping me have a good day? How is it helping me to find success in my life? How is it helping my relationships? Is it helping me in my career? Is it helping me in my ability to nurture other people? Is it helping me to, you know, develop other parts of myself? Is it motivating in a good way or motivating in a bad way? Is it motivating me to shine my light, or is it motivating me to dive into and hang on to my shadow? And if you walk yourself through those questions and you're coming up empty and you're coming up with like, yeah, actually there's not a lot of good stuff here that my unforgiveness is bringing me, I would just encourage you to right here, right now, just be done. Just be done. Just be done. It really is that simple sometimes. And I know that feels hard when maybe somebody has done something that for you has felt, yeah, unforgivable. And you have built an identity around not forgiving them. You tell everybody about it. You retell the story over and over and over again. You make sure that every new partner knows about what that last partner did. You make sure that it is the main core theme of every family dinner. You make sure that everybody is giving you extra grace and extra compassion because, oh, but I have this unforgiveness and that means you should treat me gently and you should treat me better and I should have, you know, whatever. So think about how different your life could be if you let that go. And what could you put in its place? You know, what is the new story you could talk about at the kitchen table? What is the new story you could tell your, you know, your future partners, these people you're dating? What is the new uniform you could wear if you weren't wearing the uniform of I'm a victim and I'm never going to forgive this person? And again, forgiving somebody doesn't mean you have to keep them in your life. I know you've heard this before, but I'm going to say it again. If you forgive them, it doesn't mean you bring them back into your life. If you forgive them, it doesn't mean you let them keep doing what they've been doing to you. If you forgive them, it doesn't mean that you don't value the lesson that that wound gave you or that pain gave you. It doesn't mean that you don't nurture yourself and give yourself love and compassion. You can forgive them while still giving yourself love and compassion for what happened to you. And again, I don't know why, but this is what's coming up today. So I didn't pick this subject. We picked this subject together as a collective, and this is what needs to be on this video today. So I hope that it's helpful for somebody in some way. We're going to dive into a little bit deeper here now. So we're understanding part of what's going on here is we have this block to letting this unforgiveness go because of a belief we're holding here in our mind. And maybe it's actually a belief we're holding here in our heart as well. It could be a conscious or a subconscious belief. It could be so deeply buried that you don't even know you have the belief. But that's what we're here to do. Maybe there's something deeper we need to know about this. So let's find out. Is there anything more we need to know about this belief of belief? Is there anything more we need to know about this particular block and the influence it might be having in our life? Ooh, okay. So it's really just on a very, it's at the level of like, base consciousness, right? It's like base consciousness. It's like the in-between, right? It's not like in the realm of the spirit, and it's not quite in the realm of this very world that we have access to. It's sort of like a belief that's stuck in purgatory, is how I would like to call it. It's like, it's a belief that is just blocking you to your soul's evolution. You know, it's a belief that is, yeah, it's like, you're aware of it, but you're not like aware of it. You're aware of it, but it's like, you're not aware of it enough to do anything about it yet. So we're fixing that. We're changing that. So right now, we're just saying I allow myself to bring into my conscious mind the belief that is holding me back from letting this unforgiveness go. And again, I think it could be different. It could be similar, you know, it could be a similar belief. Like, yes, if I give this person forgiveness, I have to let them back in my life. If I give this person forgiveness, that means I'm stupid. That's a common one for me. Like, if I forgive you, it means I'm dumb because I'm gonna let you hurt me. And I'm forgiving someone for hurting you is weird. It is weird, right? I think some of us like are drawn to do it naturally. It's like, I must forgive you. I am a martyr. I must forgive you and I must let you hurt me over and over again. For others of us, if you have any Scorpio in you or anything of like kind of vengeful in nature, you might be very happy to like already have kicked that person out of your life. It's not like it's a boundary issue, but it's like, again, like, what does it say about me? Am I a good Scorpio if I'm forgiving someone? If I'm not being vengeful, am I being a good Scorpio? You know, something like that. Like you've made your, ooh, here we go. You've made your lack of forgiving people your identity, like it's a badge, like it's a trophy. Like it's a trophy lined up on your mantle. Look at me, I don't forgive people. I cut people off. I ghost people the second they do anything that bothers me. You know, it's a little bit of that vibe that I'm picking up on. So, you know, we have two ends of the extreme. We have two ends of the spectrum, the over-forgivers and the under-forgivers. And we're just calling that all into balance right now for anybody who might need it. It's like, let's find that middle ground where we can forgive, because when we forgive, we release ourselves from that crabby energy. But we also don't have to, like, you know, again, wear our little stingers and our little shields as a badge of honor. And we also don't have to like overly identify with being too forgiving either. So again, we're just looking for a balance here. The status quo, the status quo. So I added this to my chart recently based on some of the books that I was reading about the Godhead. The Godhead in the map of consciousness, let's just say, in the map of the souls, our conscious evolution as a source, as consciousness. The Godhead, from what I was reading, is like the status quo. It's like average. It's like the thing that we all do. It's like I'm just not being forgiving because we just don't forgive, right? Like, it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's nothing to write home about. It's not like you're dazzling because you didn't forgive somebody. It's not like it's nothing special. That's kind of what I feel like saying. That's what that's saying to me. Your lack of forgiving this person is nothing special. I don't know what to say. That's just what's coming to me. I feel like I'm calling people out, and then maybe that's not nice, but it's what's happening here. You're nothing special. For all of the pain you're hanging on to, for all of your victimhood, for all of your martyrdom, you're nothing special. That's status quo. That's status quo, man. We don't gotta do that. Okay. Sorry, pendulum was swinging wildly now. Ooh, so I'm just going to say again, Spirit, clear it. So rebellion to one is what just came up. And in this particular context, for some reason, I'm mostly just feeling like we need to clear it. Again, I think in my last clearing, I don't remember, maybe I didn't post that one, but we talked a little bit about, you know, falling from grace, separating from one, being cast out of heaven, this feeling of not being part of source anymore, not being part of the collective anymore, feeling very separated from the collective, from source, from spirit, from light. And this is sort of part of that journey. It's like rebelling from source, rebelling from one. So it's like, you know, you haven't been cast out of heaven. You haven't fallen from grace. You're sort of rebelling from it. You're sort of rebelling from oneness. You're rebelling from wholeness. You're rebelling from being connected back to source, back to light, back to consciousness, back to spirit. You're enjoying the way in which your unforgiveness keeps you separated and keeps you ground down into the lower frequencies. You're choosing that as a rebellion. You're choosing to rebel against Spirit's natural flow of order, which is forgiveness. Spirit's natural flow of order is forgiveness. I had a really crazy vision one time when I was getting body work done, and I had this vision of, you know, I melted down into all the layers of consciousness, down into the muck and the lily pads where the lotus blossoms were blooming, right? So I like floated down and down and down and down and down in through the darkness, down actually through a stage. The stage was dark. The lights came on. You could see the theater was empty. You could see you're really just alone, right? You thought you were a performer. You thought that you were special. You thought that you were something amazing. And the lights came on, right? And you're like, oh, I'm nothing special. I'm just a ball of light here in the middle of nothing. And then once I had that realization, I dropped down into the stage. You know how like when Beyonce comes up the stage and she like, ah, here she is. The same thing happened, only it was in reverse. So here I am, I lower down, down and down through the stage, down this like dark elevator, basically down into the base level of the subconscious. And down in that space was the muck, the compost, the earthiness of everything that we sprout out of, you know, the creativity we sprout off of, the love that we sprout out of, the good energy that we sprout out of actually didn't come from above, didn't come from the light. It came from the darkness. It came from the depths. And down in those depths, I kind of observed a frog on a lily pad. And at first I was the frog, and I experienced myself as the frog. I can't believe I'm telling this story online. I've never shared this with anyone before. Only in a voice note. I have it recorded. So I was the frog, and I watched myself as the frog sitting on a lily pad next to a lotus blossom, and I saw a fly, and I just, my automatic reaction was to eat the fly. I just ate the fly. And then all of a sudden I experienced guilt. As the frog, I experienced guilt. And I was like, oh my God, I just killed off a being, a creature that had a life, that had consciousness, that had awareness. And I felt guilt immediately in myself, in my physical body, and in my awareness. I was the frog experiencing guilt. But then, just as instantly as I experienced that guilt, I became the fly. So I was no longer the frog experiencing guilt. I was the fly. And you know what I was? I was the fly. And my experience of being the fly was the experience of gratitude. I was so grateful that I had been able to be used. My life force was able to be used to keep this frog going, to provide him with nourishment, to provide him with another day to live, another day to have experiences down there in the lily pads. And that moment was a big moment of clarity for me in my life, because I think it made me realize that we really do all have a role to play here. And, hanging on to this feeling of, I am special in some way, and I should have special treatment, and I should have special experiences, and I should have people treat me a certain way, and I should somehow not have to ever be hurt, and I should somehow never have to hold, the experience of someone wounding me. What if we shifted that into a feeling of gratitude? And I'm not saying be grateful when somebody eats you and makes your life horrible, okay? I'm just saying that there is a beauty in accepting that sometimes you are meant to experience something painful, whether that is because it's the part of the cycle of life, whether it's because you are spirit having a learning experience and that is part of spirit's learning experience, whether it is just you as a human that needed that learning experience, whether it's because you needed to grow in some capacity. If we stop coming at things with guilt, shame, anger, and come at it instead with gratitude, like the fly, we can let go of our unforgiveness and really see the beauty in what happens to us and have that perspective shift. And so again, wow, I never thought in my life that I would share that with anybody, but here we are. Not because it's embarrassing or anything, but it's private vision that I had myself. Okay, so, but here it is. It needed to come out for some reason today. And so I hope that that's helpful for somebody to hear that story and to be reminded that also you at some point will be the actor on the stage. You will be the audience member as the observer. You will be the person and you will be the frog. You'll be the fly. You'll be the lily pad. You'll be all versions of life, of spirit, of consciousness, of awareness. We are infinite, whether we like it or not. I spent my entire childhood hating because I understood that we were infinite, and that pissed me off. I didn't want to be infinite. I wanted to die after this experience. I wanted this to be over. Isn't that crazy that as a child, I'm not kidding, I was 7, 8 years old, and I had to sleep in the living room with the lights on because I was so overwhelmed by the infinite nature of us as beings. And yeah, it took me a really long time to come to terms with it and to now actually appreciate it and enjoy it, that we are the frog and the fly and the lily pad and the observer and the performer and all of the things, and we will be all of it everywhere all at once. What is that? Everything everywhere all at once. That's a wild movie that is a whole lot of fun to watch. Hard to wrap your head around, but it is a pretty, I think, accurate representation of this experience in this life. You will be it all. You will do it all. And when I say this life, I don't mean this particular lifetime. I mean life force, source, spirit, consciousness, and willingness to cooperate with our higher selves. Your higher self is telling you to forgive. Your higher self is telling you to forgive, and you're just not cooperating. And that's literally verbatim what this says. So we're just calling in a release of any blocks between you and your higher self. We're calling in the energy of collaboration. And you can say that, okay? I call in the energy of collaboration now. I call in the energy of collaboration now. I am willing to collaborate with my high self. And notice I'm saying collaborate, because I don't think it's just about listening. It's about listening and speaking, sharing, having a conversation, you telling your high self what you want, have your high self tell you what's best for you, and see if you can find a middle ground. See if you can find something that feels good to both you and your high self. And sometimes, yes, it feels really good to just say, I hand this over to my high self now. I release anything that this human ego, shadow, body wants, and I just let my higher self take control of the situation. I've been dealing with something in my life right now that I've had to do that a lot. I just have to keep saying, I release this to my higher self. Higher self, I trust you. I got to take myself out from behind the wheel and just hand this over to my high self, because I cannot have my earthly form leading the charge on this one. I don't trust her. And so, there are times when just handing ourselves over to our higher selves is fine. And then there's other times, and I'm hearing that in this particular case, just collaborate with your higher self. Listen, share, communicate, talk, meditate. That's what meditation can be, is a collaboration between you and your higher self. But meditation is where we hear our higher self sometimes, especially if you're somebody who has a very busy life, if you have kids, if you have a partner, if you have a job and a house and obligations and hobbies and all these other things going on. When do you have time for your high self? When are you listening? Especially if you're not somebody that dreams very often or remembers your dreams, because that's a place where our high self can talk to us. But when do you take time to listen to your high self and collaborate with your higher self? So that's just something right now to be thinking about. Again, I just say these things because they're coming to my mind, and I feel like that means they're meant to be heard. So Grandma's Good Advice chart came up. If you've seen my videos before, we have a chart that's called How to Change Your Life. And I always just feel like it's Grandma. It's like Grandma coming in and just giving like a little chunk of wisdom. She's like here's this little nugget of wisdom. The thing that just came up was awareness. Awareness. I hope I said that clearly. Grandma is saying, the first step is becoming aware, and everything else will fall into place after that. You don't have to do anything. Just don't block yourself from your awareness. You don't have to act right now. This is not necessarily the time for big changes, big movements, unless you feel drawn to do that. But this is a time to become aware. Become aware of your own true heart, your own true nature. Again, become aware of what benefit is this unforgiveness bringing you? Just become aware. Become aware that you even have unforgiveness that you need to release. Once we become aware of it, and then we listen to our higher self, when we work with our higher self to figure out what to do with it and how we want to move forward, then we can act. But first, allow your feelings to come into your awareness. Allow, I don't know why, but using that analogy, allow the frog and the fly to come up onto the stage and be observed. Observe yourself, observe your behavior, observe your actions, observe your feelings, observe your emotional body. Again, observe the physical sensations you're feeling in your physical body, what that could be telling you. So come into awareness, and you can just say, I allow myself to come into awareness now. I am not afraid of awareness. I'm not afraid of the stories awareness has to tell me. I'm not afraid of what I'm going to learn when I become aware. I'm not afraid of what I'm going to learn when I become aware. Wow, that's a juicy one. Okay, so we're going to wrap up here pretty quickly. This video has taken quite a bit of time today, more time than normal. Okay, so now what can we do on chart 8B to help us in releasing ourselves from unforgiveness? We're just releasing self-limitation, because that's really what it is. It is limiting. It is limiting us. Our unforgiveness is limiting us, and that's part of why we want to hold on to it, because we get to live within the structure of that unforgiveness. We get to live within the boundaries of that unforgiveness. That unforgiveness creates, it creates a path. We know what path we're on when we're hanging on to unforgiveness. We know what we don't get to expand. Our heart doesn't get to expand when we're living in unforgiveness. Nothing gets to expand. We're boundaried. Which is, self-limitation, right? That unforgiveness is keeping us contained in a way that is actually not serving us. It's not serving our highest good here and now. Okay, so after this, what percent are we open to releasing that unforgiveness? 100%. And what percent are we open to forgiveness? 100%. What percent are we blocked? 0%. Wonderful, wonderful. And so I get my percentage chart and I check those things just to make sure that we are ready to wrap up. Now what we do, we say we're doing 100% of 100% of mop up. Whatever I didn't bring to the surface, whatever spirit knows that we don't know, we're just asking for that to be cleared, released, resolved. And our replacement energies for today, what are our replacement energies? The energies we're going to call in. We are calling in intelligence. Oh, we're calling in self-forgiveness. Actually, on the other side of intelligence is self-forgiveness. Let's call that in. We're calling in trust. Yeah, I love that. Trusting yourself that when you forgive, it's all going to be okay. Like, nothing bad is going to happen to you when you forgive. Like, believe me when I say that. Nothing bad is going to happen to you when you forgive someone. Nothing bad is going to happen to you when you forgive yourself. It's not. It's not. I promise you. There's nothing bad that comes from forgiveness. Nothing. Yeah, forgiveness doesn't have that vibe. Forgiveness doesn't have that density, that frequency. Forgiveness is such a high frequency. Think about what it feels like to be forgiven. Think about a time when you have been forgiven and how good that felt. How could that possibly be bad? How could that possibly be wrong? And again, if you forgive someone, I'm not telling you to contact them and tell them you forgive them. Do not do that. Do not reach back out to your ex. It's not what I'm telling you right now. I'm not telling you to forgive your ex and then reach back out and rekindle that romance. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. It's for you. That forgiving them is for you. It's so that your energy today, your density today, your frequency today can be higher, can feel better, and you can move about without that limitation that is unforgiveness. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here today. If you would like to have a one-to-one session with me, you can find me at www.thepointedstone.com. I'm happy to chat anytime and yeah, dive into the subconscious with you and my friend, the squirrel. All right, all. Thanks again, and we will see you next time on another episode of Clearing with Kate.